Rick Brannick here, Field Operations Manager with Fort Bend Seniors Meals on Wheels. Right now, we're actually at our Rosenberg Congregate Center. We also call it a senior center. It's called the Beto Shield Center. It's here in Rosenberg. And this is where seniors are able to come to us by a couple different ways. They can either drive themselves here or they can have transit, the Fort Bend Transit bus service, actually pick them up. We'll set that up for them and then they can be dropped off here and they're picked up, taken home. But let's go inside. There's a lot of activities to do inside. Everybody, so now we're actually inside the Beto Shield Center, and behind me here, this is what we call the banquet room or the congregate area, and this is where seniors will gather Monday through Friday. They'll play bingo on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They'll do art and various other activities during the week on Tuesday, Thursday. So let me walk around and show you a little bit about what's going on today, since today's a Wednesday. Right now they're getting ready for bingo, and let me just tell you something. Bingo is a big deal on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays here at the Beto Shield Center. They have all those prizes over there that they can win. They have a great time playing bingo, and we want them to be able to feel like they can come in here. They pal up with their friends and their pals and their associates and so forth, and they sit at a table and they just have a great time talking, conversing, playing bingo. And in fact, once bingo starts, the talking ends. What you see right here, this is kind of like a gathering area. We have a library. They can do jigsaw puzzles. They can hang out. They can watch the news if they want to pick up on that. They can visit with each other and so forth. And let me take you down this way here to some of the areas. So this is our art studio, and this is where they have art Tuesdays and Thursdays, starting at 10 o'clock, and it goes to about 11:15. And if a volunteer wanted to like sit in here with some of the seniors to help with their art project, they're more than welcome to do that. So that's another thing that you can help out with as a volunteer. So it makes it kind of fun. My friend George here at the Beto Shield Center. He is our site coordinator for our senior center that meets here. And as a volunteer, when you get here, you just check in with George, right, George?
Yes, just check in with me and I'll show you where to go.
Hey everyone, Rick Brannick here again. So one of the things that's really cool about Fort Bend Seniors is when you think about our agency, one of the things that we have that's a huge component is called Meals on Wheels. And so to get started, a lot of people ask questions like, well, how do I get started to become a volunteer with Fort Bend Seniors? Well, the first thing that I always like to tell people is go to our website, which is fortbendseniors.org/volunteer. We are delighted anytime we see volunteers come to pick up a route at one of our route distribution centers, and today we're going to show you what that looks like. As the volunteer actually arrives to our distribution point, they stop at the cone, and this is Marilyn Seiler. Marilyn is one of our employees that greets all of the volunteers every time when they come in, so she gives them a warm welcome, and she's always very personable and helps them with any questions that they might have, tells them about their route for the day.
We'll put your number for your vehicle, and then our packer will know your route. Here's your sheets for today.
So what's happening right now is she actually put on the windshield her route number, and she's just handed her route sheet for today. The next step that would take place is we would take the coolers out of the vehicle. Marilyn is filling up the cooler with the hot meals for that particular route. So she takes care of that. Normally it would be a volunteer that could do that. And over here, Tim is actually putting the drinks in to the cooler that have the cold items. So we separate the hot and the cold, so that way they're not cross-contaminating each other, and it just keeps it separate, and we go from there. Okay, so to kind of recap, when the volunteer arrives, they stop at one of our designated spots here. That's when they're greeted, they're handed their route sheet, any sorry we missed you slips, any information about the route for that day, like what the meal selection is, what the menu item is for the senior to eat that day for lunch. That way when the volunteer gets to the client's home, they can tell the client what they're having for lunch. Just kind of makes a conversational piece happen at that point. So now Marilyn's gonna actually take the cooler, she's gonna return it back to the volunteer's vehicle. Same thing with Tim. Tim's got his cooler with the cold drinks, and again, we keep the items separated so they're not cross-contaminating each other. And then Marilyn shuts the trunk lid, and then she'll say goodbye to the volunteer, ask if there's any more questions, and so forth. And don't forget, ladies, one of the cool things that we get to do is we get to bring a hot meal and a warm smile to all those clients. So just remember, as you get ready to launch into this endeavor of helping break the cycle of isolation with seniors that are in need by dropping off a meal to them, one of the cool things that we have an awesome partnership with FBJSL in the community, and you guys have been so great at making us better because of that partnership. So thank you very much. Things I'm always asked is, hey, how long does orientation take? What does that look like? Well, first of all, I lead orientation, so it's a hands-on experience with me as the field operations manager. We don't ever pawn you off or hand you off to somebody else, to do the orientation. You get it straight from me. You get all the information that you'll need. The orientation lasts about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and it's interactive. We have a slide presentation that we do. That way you see everything and you'll be equipped completely on what we do as an organization at the orientation. So a couple of things that are good to know about is some of the events that we have coming up with Fort Bend seniors. Number one, we have our Cinco de Mayo event that will be happening obviously in May. So that's always a great event to be a part of. It's over at La Cocina Mexican restaurant. The other event is coming up in October, and that's when at Dry Creek Social Club we'll have none other, coming back for the third year, the Spasmatics. They have a huge following. People love the Spasmatics. They love the 80s vibe. They love the music. That's also another event that you can be a part of and that you can volunteer for as well. So those are two nice events that are going to be happening really soon that you can really be a part of.